All right, everybody. First of all, we apologize for that glitchy shot. Apparently, we had internet issues. Jesse's next.
So that was Fox quite literally glitching as it was trying to do its propaganda for Donald Trump at a traveling fascist circus event that Donald Trump calls a rally in Glendale, Arizona on Friday night. But really throughout the day, Fox continued to glitch as it simply doesn't know what to do as Donald Trump continues to melt down, as his poll numbers continue to rapidly decline. So for example, Jessica Tarlov, the lone pro-democracy voice on Fox, she was explaining to all these other hosts on this panel with her that at the DNC, they were talking about patriotism. At the DNC, there were far more American flags than there were at the RNC. At the DNC, there were chants, USA, USA. At the RNC, there were signs for mass deportation now, and the chants were send them home and send them back. So as Jessica Tarlov explains this, all of the other kind of right-wing extremist Fox hoax, they just start yelling and making noises. Play this clip.
Say there were more American flags at the DNC than there were at the RNC.
Yeah, patriotism's cool when it's new.
American flags are back in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, because that's not the flags they like to. That's not the flags they like to steal. They like to burn the American flag and raise the Palestinian flag.
So then you also just have to be like, Sean Hannity has literally zero shame, like zero shame. So last night after RFK Jr. endorses Donald Trump, Hannity starts saying, oh, the media is being so unfair to RFK. They're not even showcasing this. They're being so unfair. Hannity has devoted segment after segment to attack RFK when he believed RFK was hurting Donald Trump. I want you to watch this. So first, I'm going to show you Hannity from last night. Play the clip.
Even today, almost no major networks took Kennedy's speech. Fake news CNN carried the speech for a little while until Kennedy started sharing the truth about the media. Then they said, oh, we've heard enough. The big networks, they didn't carry it live. MSDNC, they didn't carry one word of his speech. Pretty powerful institutions now in the Democratic Party, combined with the deep state and government and media mob, are all putting every single cinder block on the scales of yet another presidential election.
Okay, so, and just think about what he just said. So this was Hannity very recently, 3 months ago. In the last 3 months, Hannity had this segment trashing RFK. Play this clip.
RFK Jr. Now, this is the same guy that wants to eliminate all drilling, all fracking. He endorsed Bernie Sanders' climate plan he called the NRA a, quote, terrorist group. He wants to transform police. He's praised the radical, rabid anti-Semite and racist Louis Farrakhan. He endorsed, Al Gore, John Kerry, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and claimed the 2004 election was stolen. Worst of all, he actually blamed America for Osama bin Laden's terror attacks on a radio show he co-hosted in 2014.
Similarly, in the last 3 months, you had Hannity also doing this segment.
No, I wouldn't leave it to the states.
Wouldn't, right.
No, I would.
He would say completely, it's up to the woman.
My belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have government involved.
Even if it's full term.
Even if it's full term.
Even a full-term abortion. Apparently, this was a surprise to his running mate, far-left attorney Nicole Shanahan.
Also, in the last 3 months, you had Trump's official spokesperson doing this segment. Play the clip.
RFK Jr. supports a national federal smart grid that would control how long we can keep the lights on in our homes, how long we can keep the water on. That is communism, not capitalism. President Trump opposes that, and I think the American people do.
As a kid, I loved eating cereal, but as an adult, I don't want all that sugar, and most cereals don't give me the protein I need. Then I found Magic Spoon, a nostalgically delicious cereal that tastes just like my childhood favorites, but without the sugar and with a ton of protein. And if you're already a Magic Spoon fan like I am, I have big news. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high-protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious and have already become my favorite before and after gym snack. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about about what you are eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa, and there's so many more. I love the cocoa ones. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and an easy way to get 11 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolate peanut butter, chocolatey peanut butter. I personally love Magic Spoon's chocolatey peanut butter treats. I have one every morning to start the day off on the right foot, and I know you will love it as well. Get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/Meidas or look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/Meidas, M-E-I-D-A-S, for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. magicspoon.com/Meidas. That's what I mean. There is just zero shame right there. And here Jesse Waters basically is like, well, with Donald Trump, he could just be dangling the, a carrot to RFK and pretend he's going to give him a cabinet position, but then really do nothing. Play the clip.
We went to the Trump campaign. I don't know if he's going to get a cabinet position. Knowing Trump, he may dangle something and then never give it, or give him something and, Trump likes the action. That could be interesting to see RFK Jr. in a Trump administration. But Harris is...
So one of the things that Fox had to continue to do also is they try to sane wash these Donald Trump events. And they try to sane wash it by... They cover certain portions of it, like the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if Trump can stay on script. The moment he veers off script, Fox will cut its coverage. And then what they'll do is then they'll have their hosts say, well, look, I think that the speech was really good. And they'll try to then kind of gloss over the rest of what Trump said. So, for example, here's Fox cutting the coverage right here.
And will again make America great again by tackling lawlessness head on.
You just heard from former President Donald Trump in Glendale, Arizona, who promised a special guest tonight. And unlike Kamala, he actually delivered.
And here is an example of where Fox brings on a guest who talks about how, look, the first half of the speech was pretty good. Play the clip.
Family, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Well, he's devoted the end of his speech to some of his views and some of those controversial policy views, and they don't necessarily resonate with a ton of America. You see that in the polls. However, I thought that the first half of his speech was incredibly powerful, in which he talked about access to the ballot, democracy as an existential issue, freedom of speech, and how awful Democrats have been on those, whether it be the actions that they have taken against him.
And here's another example of Fox cutting the speech as Donald Trump starting to talk about, Vice President Kamala Harris, her name, and she says thank you, and all of these things. Here they cut it, play it.
We're also
we're going to keep an eye on all of these events happening throughout the day. And I just want to, let's bring our panel back in, and then we'll take a look at some of the polling. We're joined again by Outkick.
So, for example, you have to go to then like RSBN or one of these far right-wing stations to see Trump say things like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here, play this clip.
And she mentioned thank you about 50 times. Did you see the beginning? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I said, what the hell is wrong with her? But then she recovered. She did much better. But she didn't tell anything. She didn't say anything. She talked about her family, how beautiful San Francisco was.
Then you have Jessica Tarlov, again, the lone pro-democracy voice at Fox, bringing facts. And she goes, look, the evidence is in the cold, hard facts. The evidence is in the data. Ratings were up 22%. More people watched Vice President Kamala Harris's acceptance speech, and she's raised over $100 million during the DNC. Play this clip.
Vegas, and the evidence of how well she did was in cold, hard facts. In ratings, Trump's favorite thing, 22% up from Donald Trump's acceptance speech. 7.2 million raised between 11 p.m. and midnight over the course of the entire week. Act Blue says over $100 million came in for Democratic candidates, organizations. There was a panel of undecided Pennsylvania voters, a focus group, 8 of them in there. 6, after watching the speech, are now going with Kamala Harris. Those are all hard facts that show that she did a really good job. We know about the enthusiasm being up. We know about the polls going in her direction.
Yeah, that was driving some of the other Fox hosts absolutely nuts. And I kind of show you this, though, because, you know, I don't want to give Bret Baier too much credit, but Bret Baier did at least say to Donald Trump when Trump called in after the DNC and Trump was like ranting and raving, Bret Baier was like, but you know you're losing now. And then Donald Trump just continued to rant and rave. Play this clip.
Let me ask you this, sir. There has been a huge appeal and momentum for women voters. She's trying to pull the youth vote, the Hispanic vote, the black vote back in her direction. Polls show that she's having some success in that at this point. So what are you going to do? What's your strategy to rebuild the momentum that you had with those voters?
No, she's not having success. I'm having success. I'm doing great with the Hispanic voters. I'm doing great with black men. I'm doing great with women because women want safety. They want safety. And they don't have safety when they have somebody allowing 20 million people into our country, many of them very dangerous people. No, it's only in your eyes that they have that, Martha. We're doing very well in the polls. We're leading in most of the polls. And in the swing states, we're leading in almost every one of them.
Mr. President, let me interrupt.
The auto workers are voting for me because you're not going to have an auto industry if she gets elected. They're going to all electric cars.
So one of the things that Fox was trying to do at the DNC was do that like, I don't know how you describe the reporting, where they just kind of just stick the microphone in people's faces and then just see what they respond. Like here, a Fox producer goes to Nancy Pelosi and goes, should Kamala Harris do a Fox debate? And she just laughs in their face. Play the clip.
Madam Speaker, how are you? Nice to meet you. Johnny from Fox. Should Kamala do a Fox debate? Why won't she do it?
Don't make me laugh.
What? But if she can't do Fox, if she can't do Fox, how is she going to face Putin?
I don't see any equivalence in that statement.
Sorry, we're gonna go.
Here was Peter Doocy doing that also to another group of people. Like, can you get out of here? Like, we want to focus on policy. Like, shoo.
Is Beyonce coming? Yeah. Beyonce's coming?
Serious convention. This is about issues. This is about issues. This is about America.
Are you going to go backstage and tell them to tell the celebrities not to come out, or should I?
That's you. You should tell them that.
I'll go back. So you guys don't want Beyonce to come out?
Come on. No, don't do this.
No. Okay. Apologies. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll keep it going.
Then, of course, you have Eric Trump trying to communicate with his daddy. The only way he knows how his daddy will return his calls by saying stuff like this. Play the clip.
I'm telling you, the country's going to reward Donald Trump. He was the best president this country's ever had. And
then you have Ted Cruz doing this again. It's just like silly performative WWE cosplay fascist stuff. Play this clip.
But I'll tell you what, Jesse, I want to break a little bit of news. I heard your earlier reporting on the show about the secret guest. I'll tell you, there was a leak from the Biden White House, so I know who the secret guest is going to be tonight. It's a big secret, but it's going to be El Chapo.
Then Maria Bartiromo's got to bring on MAGA Republican James Comer. They love the word grooming, so they go to Comer. Has China been grooming Walz? Play this clip.
And has China been grooming Tim Walz?
Well, we're trying to find out exactly what the FBI has on Tim Walz with respect to China. Everyone in business knows that China steals our intellectual property. They steal our patents. They manipulate their currency. They do anything they can to have a competitive advantage in business. Those of us in government know that China has done everything they can to disrupt and corrupt our U.S. government. The way we operate, we know that they have tried to groom people in the military. We know that they've created police spy stations in the major cities, in the blue cities all around the United States. We know a lot of this activity is based out of Minnesota. We know that Tim Walz has made several trips during his life to China. We know he spent a year there. We know he went on his honeymoon there.
China been grooming Walz? Like, what are you even talking about? The depths of this propaganda would make North Korea blush. This is just, Did China groom Governor Walz, a social studies teacher from Minnesota? And then, well, James Comer just bashes Minnesota because, well, Minnesota is a haven for people with lots of other ideologies. Play this clip.
Look, Minnesota is not your normal state where Tim Walz is governor. I mean, great people in Minnesota, but you also have, a huge population of residents in Minnesota that have come from other countries and have various different ideologies that don't really respect capitalism. And we're concerned about that because we have the strongest economy in the world, but we cannot have more government. We cannot operate like China does, where the government plays the major role in every business. The government has to have ownership in every business, and the government dictates every facet of our lives. That won't work in the United States. And this is what Tim Walz appears to believe. And we know he's taken students to China and tried to teach them that China's doing things the right way.
Yeah, I understand.
Minnesota is a great state. What are you all talking about? And again, this is, I always like to do these segments on Fox because I think it's important that we know their tactics and their techniques. And we can call it out together collectively, which is what we do here on the MeidasTouch Network. So hit subscribe. I want to get to 3 million subscribers together. And thank you so much for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.